Good Monday morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right today. We're in here working late again. I ain't got my right chair. This ain't my chair. This is India's chair. I don't know how many's awake out there in Uncle Jed land, but we thought we'd come on here and just see. Took a little break from working. Well, Bill, we're in here working, getting caught up. We got all of our shipping, except for a few little bitty ones, done. Ready to go out the door. Caught up with that. Now I've got to catch up with the local invoicing. Go to bed. Why ain't you guys in bed? What y'all doing up at? Well, it's James. It's well, for you and Bill both. It's 3:30 in the a.m. on a Monday morning. Just 2:30 for me, so it's still early. We've been working. I took a break from getting all the shipping and everything caught up, and went to the. It is. We went and decorated our windows in our storefront. Looks pretty daggum cool. Let me show y'all. Oh, it's 1:30. Yeah, that's right. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's early for y'all. It's late for me then. This is what we've been working on the last hour or so. Well, what am I doing? Wrong place. I don't know, but did y'all see this? It's late. I can show y'all remember my It's About Us sign? They stole my slogan. There was protesters in Louisville. I noticed that today, that one of the news stations reported there was protesters in Louisville today, and first thing I seen is, yeah, I don't want to do that. Here we go. That's my front door. That didn't come out too good. That's what I've been doing the last hour or so. Yeah, they were protesting. I told India, I said, looky there, they're using my slogan. I ought to sue them. But yeah, we're wore out. We're tired. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one for sure, Donna. And by the way, Donna, I got your, I was just telling James and Bill, I've been working, getting caught up. The Georgia trip, India being sick, getting caught up with all the shipping. I got a big stack ready to go out tomorrow, and I just like little bitty ones. I'm proud of myself tonight. Then we decorated the front of the store. And the place is a total wreck in here. My brother's going to come up tomorrow, and he said, I'll come up there and just tip you for free, Jerry. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Donna, that was a special night. I told somebody, I said, you know, everybody thinks it's all about money, but sometimes it's just about special times like that. That means more to me than money or anything like that. I live for those moments, Donna. I sure do. I live for those moments. My granddaughter's birthday, she turned 14 today. Madeline. I know she better not be up at this time of night, but happy birthday again to her. me and India went shopping this evening. I stopped working for a while before the stores closed, and we went and got our turkeys, uh, hams, and stuff for Thanksgiving Day. I hope you guys are getting ready for it. Looking forward to some good old cornbread dressing, banana pudding, things like that. Well, you're welcome, Don. I appreciate that. I really do. But I thought I'd just take a break and come on here and talk to you guys for a while and see who all was actually up. And of course, Bill Horvitz up and James Williams is up down in Georgia. Y'all had a bad thing to happen in Wisconsin. I'm catching bits and pieces of it when I was working over here, and I was getting notifications. Working on the other computer there, getting everything caught up as far as shipping goes. And I noticed there was somebody ran through a parade up there in Wisconsin, Bill. Was that close to you? Winoshka or something like that, Winosha, and killed several people. It was a dancing parade. Part of the dancing group that was in the parade just came through mowing them down. I didn't know if that was close to you, Bill Horvath, or not. I hadn't heard any more. Actually, with Waukesha, 35 minutes. You know, that's like Bowling Green for me, Bill. Not very far at all away. And I know stuff like that upsets you, and we definitely praying for the families of, if it was a dancing group, and like I said, I've not caught the news, I've just caught bits and pieces of it, but if it was a dancing group, they was probably all young people, and apparently they just came through the parade, and I don't know if it was tied to Waukesha. Okay, thank you, Bill. I don't know if it was tied to the protest that's going on. I know out in San Francisco they had I reckon a looting party. It was a Merry Christmas party. I reckon they were looting all the stores and just craziness out in San Francisco. And I'll tell you something. I know it's San Francisco and California, but there are good people out there that don't participate in all the bad things that's going on. So we definitely need to keep those folks in our prayers, especially business owners. I'll tell you something. You know, you get your store looted and things that, like me working out there, taking a break and going out there and working, getting our windows put up. You know, it'd be like somebody just kicking the door in right now, coming in, taking everything they wanted, just destroying my business. I will, Donna, and that's a sad thing when your family does split. Danny, you be careful up there because seems like protesters do not like truck drivers. And I want to tell you something about truck drivers. I think truck drivers are just like farmers. They're the backbone of our nation. I mean the backbone of our nation. Just be careful, Danny Gladwell. Bill Horvath, you ought to get Bill to buy you breakfast, or Danny ought to buy Bill's breakfast one way or the other. And your son, if I remember right, is Dustin. Is that right, Donna? I think that's what you, I think it was your son that got you watching the show. I think he was interested in some of the items on the show. I think it was Dustin. I don't know, Bill. Danny. Bill wants to know where you at right now. He said he was close to Waukesha. Is that right, Danny Gladwell? Okay. My memory. Sometimes I can't. I'll be walking to the bathroom and forget what I'm doing when I get back. But I try to have a good memory when it comes to the show and remembering people's. Oh, Livermore, California. Oh, I understood him, Bill. We was talking about two different things, Waukesha and San Francisco. Danny, you sure enough be careful out there in San Francisco. I reckon since the Kyle Rittinghouse verdict came down, there's protests in Louisville, all over the place, and that's what was going on in San Francisco. Another excuse to protest. My prayers just go out to those businesses and people out there that's just trying to live life and enjoy life. And you know, it's black folks, white folks, just common folks that's trying to enjoy and live life. And we don't want to live in the past. I know a lot of bad things happen in the past that our ancestors done, but we're not living in the past. We're living for today, and we're living for the future, and that's what everybody's got to understand. I mean, good night. I mean, you know, I've not seen. Somebody said there was a YouTube video out, Bill, with how all that took place, and I'm not watching them. I don't know if I could stomach it or not. But it's time that, you know, and most black folk understand that it's not the present day people. I'm sure you got people that's stupid and that are prejudiced and that hold things against other people and things like that. But most common folks, they're not prejudiced. They don't look at people's color, the color of their skin and stuff. And I think most black folk know that. But you have the news media and professors feeding them this nonstop reparations, nonstop. You know, white people are prejudiced. White people are privileged, and I think what it's doing, and this is me, it's causing some people that never would thought about being prejudiced. They're starting to become prejudiced because of the looting, and because of the every time you turn around, it's you know, like Cal Rittenhouse. If he'd been black, he would have been in prison. Wouldn't been no much of a trial. He'd already be in prison or put on death row. Well, I got to say to them, I could have said the same thing with O.J. Simpson. If O.J. Simpson had been white, he would have been found guilty because he was guilty of sin, killing Nicole and that other fella that was there at her house. So, I mean, people's got to realize things happen. And there's nothing we can do about it. I happen to agree with the verdicts, and a lot of people don't. But you know, if he'd been found guilty and sentenced to death or whatever, I wouldn't have been out protesting in the streets. And I don't understand. It's causing a lot of bad feelings to rise up in good people that never thought about anything like that. And I think for the last 7, 8 years, maybe about 9 or 10 years, I think race relationship had got really, really good in this country. And then you had some things that happened, and some news media and some leaders of the nation that just stroked the flame, or whatever you call that, stirred the fire up, and caused a lot of people to have ill feelings towards each other. I know that, and the only thing that they can garner out of it is to say if the boy had been black, if the boy had been black, I'd been cheering him on too, just like I did Kyle. Matter of fact, there was a black fella that I saw a video, and I didn't know this until the trial, that was trying to stomp Kyle in the face, and Kyle just pointed his gun at him. And the black man had enough sense to say, I'm backing off. You know, I've let my temper get the best of me. And Kyle never shot him. He only shot when his life was actually really in danger. It's what a lot of people, the news media, is not putting out there. And if Kyle had been a black young man helping that day to try to keep the peace and, you know, stop fires and render first aid and things like that. And, you know, he had been packing a gun and all this, you know, the same thing happened to him, I would have been taken up for him. Sure would have. So I think it's the news media. Most black people, most white people understand each other, love each other, and we judge each other on what's in our heart uh, and what's in another person's heart, the goodness. Uh, I never, look at somebody and say, they're of Spanish descent, or, they're of African American or African descent. I never look at people that way. Now, if somebody's acting a fool, hey Kyle, if somebody's acting a fool, I judge them that way. If somebody's acting stupid, I judge them that way. Don't matter what color they are. Uh, if somebody's being evil and mean, you better believe I'm going to judge them and call them out on it. I don't care what color they are. And that's the bad thing when you do speak out against, I've spoke out against some police officers that I thought just done awful what they're supposed to do. And then I spoke out on the other end to where I thought they was justified in what they did. I've been labeled racist because of the Trump hat. I wasn't a Bill Clinton fan, but I thought Bill Clinton done a good job with the economy. I didn't like the things that he done. I didn't like a lot of things Donald Trump done personally. But I think he did the country good, just like Bill Clinton done the country good. I didn't like George Bush. I didn't like Obama. And it wasn't because Obama was black. I just didn't like him. I didn't like his politics and the way he ran the country. It had nothing to do with me being racist. And this hat here has nothing to do with being racist or white supremacist or anything like that. Well, that's ridiculous. A lot of people scared to... when I was down in Georgia last weekend, I had this hat on, and I didn't think about it. And I went into a lot of stores and restaurants down there, and I actually got some real funny looks. I actually, would try to pull it up on my head a little bit like this, or put my shades up over it going in stores, because I was a little bit intimidated and a little bit frightened. Just because some people really explode at just the sight of the name Trump. So, I think if he had got reelected, I think the country would have been in better shape right now. We wouldn't be having. He just would do things, like all the ships needing being unloaded. Like Ron DeSantis said, send them down here, we'll unload them. He would have got the ships unloaded, and the supply chain wouldn't be in as bad a shape as it is now. Danny knows about the supply chain. He's out fixing to unload in San Francisco. I want him to be careful out there. But I met some people from California the other day. They came in the store, and they said they didn't live in the big cities. They was part of the rural area, but they moved from California. They said they were just tired of their state being run by basically some people that really don't care. That's like San Francisco there. They elected all these leaders, and now are they reaping what they sow? I don't like to look at it like that, because even though a lot of San Francisco is liberal, I don't see nobody hurt. And I've seen so many, when there was different ones, Rush Limbaugh died, people saying he deserved it. When Phil Valentine, a local conservative radio talk show host in Nashville, when he died of COVID, there were so many mean comments on there. I don't see how people can. I don't want to see any. Yeah, Danny, I bet they are. I don't see anybody sick, or I don't see anybody hurt. That's like Joe Biden. A lot of people probably on the right side would rejoice if something happened to him. I wouldn't. I feel sorry for the man. He's up in age, and we're all going to get that age one day. And I feel sorry for him when he stutters. I feel sorry for him when he makes missteps. He's the president of our country right now. I don't care what his politics are and everything. He's the president of our country, and we need to respect that. Now, do I respect some of the laws they're passing, some of the things they're doing? No. But I respect the man, and I do feel sorry for him at many times. And you've got other people that laugh, and they make fun, and they poke fun. And that's the president of our nation right now. We need to pray for him. I I'm telling you guys, this ain't a Republican or a Democrat thing that's going on. It's a lack of love that's going on across our country. You know, they're talking about Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States. They're talking that there's a rift. From what I'm hearing, different news sources, there's a rift between her and the White House and the Biden camp. There's a big rift going on, and they're speaking maybe of the only ones that can confirm a vice president is the House of Representatives and the Senate. And the source that I read, or no, I saw on the news, I think it was Fox, that somebody had told them to get ready to refresh on. I think the last vice president that was confirmed by the Senate and House of Representatives was Gerald Ford's vice president. I don't even remember who that was. But somebody told him that he needed to get ready for that. I think Harris is on her way out, and I'm afraid, Bill Horvath, you're as close, but I'm afraid that they are going to appoint Hillary Clinton. I'm afraid they're going to appoint Hillary Clinton as vice president, and I think Hillary will wind up being president sometime next year. Everybody on my side, the right side's been saying, Trump's going to get back in there, before the next election. Something's going to happen. And I'm saying the right opposite. I think that Hillary Clinton's going to be appointed vice president, and then she's going to be president next year. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Camilla Harris is going to be out, and I don't know if I guess Biden. Well, I think actually, I will actually remember when Nixon resigned. Spiro Agnew, I think the vice president, resigned first. He appointed Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford was the first vice president that was approved. They have to be approved by the Senate. They have to be approved by the Senate and the House of Representatives. Just like they have to be confirmed, just like a Supreme Court justice does. So I think that Biden or his camp would pick the one that they wanted, just like you'd pick a Supreme Court justice. I think they would pick the one they wanted, and then it would go before the House of Representatives, and then before the Senate to be confirmed. I think that's how it goes, Bill. And I'm really thinking, Danny, but Pelosi, I don't think, there's a snowball chance in a hot summer day for Nancy Pelosi to become vice president. I don't think that'll happen. But I do think, see, you got to remember, and it could be, I don't know, I don't even want to say that, but I'm thinking Hillary Clinton. Because everybody thinks she won the election anyway. He's off on maternity leave right now, Kyle. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. I can never get used to a man saying, I want to introduce you to my husband, or a woman saying, I want to introduce you to my wife. Now, I've got some friends that are like that. I've got some male friends, they've got husbands. I've got some female friends, and they've got wives, and I will not mistreat them. So before you go, anybody that comes up on this and says I'm a homophobe or whatever, I will not mistreat them. I don't agree with it. I think God intended for there to be a man and a woman to come together, and I think that's what a family is. But I'm not going to judge those people. God will judge them one day. I just don't agree with it. But I'm going to treat them good. I'm going to love their neck. I'm going to be friendly to them, and they're going to be my friends. We have a person now. He comes in here. Y'all have seen him one night on camera. He's a transgender. I guess I don't know really what he would call himself, but he's my friend. And I treat him with respect. I feed him. We bought him dinner the other day. He knows that I don't agree with that type lifestyle, but he probably may not agree with my lifestyle. I've been married 5 times. I ain't get no place to judge nobody or nothing like that. Yes, she is. If you guys remember when Reagan got shot, they had uh, George Bush, of course, was supposed to have been in charge, but there was somebody else that was trying to be in charge. I see his face right now, but I can't remember who it was. I know it's hard, but you gotta love people. You, I mean, I'm gonna speak out. That I think that how I think God intended for the family to be a man and a woman and children. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that hurts a lot of my friends' feelings. I've had them get mad at me and block me on Facebook, and I still love them. I still talk to them. They probably don't agree with me on several different things, but I'm not going to block them. I'm not going to hate them. I'm not going to talk about them. Not going to call them names. Alexander Haig. And I think, what was he, Secretary of State? I remember that, Kyle. He thought he was in charge. He thought he was a dog. I'll tell you something, Ronald Reagan, out of all the presidents that I can remember, I was born, I think, right when Kennedy, I was a year old, maybe when, not a year old when Kennedy was assassinated. So I don't remember him. Uh, don't remember Johnson, really, anything about seeing him on TV or anything. My first president that I can recollect was Richard Nixon. And I think he was a good president as far as his policies and things like that went. He's like a lot of the rest of them. He cheated to get in office by breaking in, having people to break into that building where the Democrats were planning, their different strategies and things like that. And he was wanting to get upper hand. He got caught. That a lot of that goes on local politics too. We have it here. They have their little strategy meetings, different houses and things like that on how they can get who they want, and most of the time they do. And same way with the way that Biden got in there. I think it was the biggest election fraud that's ever went on in this country. When Trump won, was there election fraud then? As far as there's always election fraud going on, and I don't know how the news media can look anybody or look that camera, look you straight in the face through that camera and say there's not no corruption that goes on in America when it comes to election day. And I've seen it since I was a kid. People paying people with pints of whiskey, people handing people money, people fixing their ditch line, people paying their water bills and gas bills. It's a corrupt system that we have, and for anybody to sit back and say it's not, then they're not in the loop. So I try to, I've got a lot of Democratic friends, and some of my children are. Yeah, yeah, I can't remember all of it, but I was sad to see him leave. I'd be sad if Biden had to resign. I would have been sad if Obama did. That's just a bad thing to happen to the President of the United States. I was sad for Bill Clinton. He did lie under oath, and that's what he got caught up in. And I was sad for him that all that was being broadcast, out to the entire United States. I was sad for Richard Nixon. But my favorite president, didn't care much for the Bushes. I did vote for him, didn't care much for him. Ronald Reagan. I just liked the way he held himself and handled himself. And I guess in a lot of ways, people that rooted for Trump and that voted for Trump, I think a lot of them were Reagan people that wanted a Ronald Reagan style government, a Ronald Reagan style president. And Donald Trump was probably the closest thing that we've had and probably will ever have in a long time to Ronald Reagan. No, he doesn't match up to the man that Reagan was or the president that Reagan was. But he's the closest thing that we've had or are going to have for a long time, because most of your Republicans, a bunch of rhinos that I'm telling you, we had what, 14 in the Senate that voted for this $1 trillion plan that they just voted on. And then so many in the House of Representatives. I'm telling you, they're rhinos. They never liked Donald Trump because they couldn't tell Donald Trump what to do. They could tell George Bush what to do. And Bush would listen to them. No backbone whatsoever. It would make me so mad. And now you've got Mitch MCConnell from my state of Kentucky. And yes, I voted for him because I didn't want to vote for a liberal to get in there. So I voted for the lesser of two evil. But that man, I'm telling you, he hated Trump. They worked against Trump the whole time. It wasn't just, we blame the liberals, part of the Democratic Party, for always going after Trump. It was the Republicans too. They might have done it behind closed doors, but they done it. They hurt. And for 4 years, that man had to fight. The news media had to fight his own party. He had to fight the Democrats. He had to fight everybody. And all he was trying to do is to try to help Americans out. He loved America. I believe he loves America today. And was his mannerism the greatest? No. Was there a lot of times when he said stuff when he should have just not said anything? Yes. But we had to take that to get him. We all knew that when we voted for him. We had to take the bad to get that type of leader that we dreamed of and we wanted. And I think he's just going to be too old in 2024. He's going to be on up there, 80 years old? I think he's just going to be too old to run. And everybody that's saying Trump in 2024, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I think Rick DeSantis of Florida is probably going to be your front runner and probably going to be the president of the United States, or at least the Republican nominee, 2024 election. I don't think we'll never have another Trump presidency. I may be wrong, but I think he's just going to be up there to the age that, like we're saying now about Biden being up there at that age, and we're talking about him saying, his family shouldn't have let him done this. We're going to have to be in that same boat 2024. Trump's going to be up there in years, and, he may be, healthier than me or brighter than me when he hits 80. I don't know, but I've got a feeling that the Trump days are over as far as him influencing an election and still having a voice. I think he can. I think he can still be a leader in our nation. But I've got to get off here and get back to work. I've had a break so long now. We've got to talking. Some of you guys now, exactly my politics. But you know that I love everybody, no matter race, religion, politics, whatever it is. They come in my door and they want food, I'm going to give them food. They want shelter, I'm going to give them shelter. They want just somebody to talk to, I'm going to talk to them. But I'm going to get off here. I guess Bill Horvath's son went to sleep. Danny Gladwell's done went to sleep. You guys need to get some sleep. I got to have this place open at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock now. So if I work 2 more hours, 5, and then I can go home, and after about an hour I get to sleep and get about 3 hours sleep. Yeah, I sleep, and a lot of times it's like, I get done with everything, Kyle, and it might be 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe 12 o'clock when I finally get 2 or 3 hours sleep. Then everybody's like, man, I wish I could sleep till 11 o'clock. I wish I could sleep till noon time. And I guess that probably gets on my nerves more than anything. What'd you do, Jerry? Sleep all day? And people don't realize that I'm up here many, many nights. Or, Kyle, I'm looking for storage units on the computer. And we're looking at probably hundreds of them on my side, down south and up north. I don't go too far out west. But we're looking at hundreds of them, and I can't just scan by them. I've got to look at them, blow up pictures, and try to come up with a game plan on them. And we do that about every other day, sometimes every day. And then there's a lot of other things going on. So we are going to try to work just a while longer in here, and then go get us a few hours sleep and let somebody. What'd you do? Sleep all day? You sleep all morning? But Kyle, Bill, Danny, James, who else was on here? Donna. Is that right? Yeah, Donna was on here. I'm trying to see who all was on here listening. But all you guys, thanks for you guys. You didn't realize I was live, Jeff. Jeff Reynolds, what are you doing up, buddy? I was just fixing to go off the air and go tinker a little bit with the storefront, and I think I'm going to wait on these little bitty things I've got over here and get that done tomorrow afternoon. Don't know when we're going to have an auction this week. It's Thanksgiving week. I want to plan 2 or 3 days. Yeah, even when if I was to go home right now, it'd be a couple hours before I got to sleep because my adrenaline. Yeah, I don't know if you guys, my adrenaline gets to pumping. On auction nights, I cannot go to sleep. I can't do it. My adrenaline's pumping so much. But you guys have a good morning, a good week. Got Thanksgiving coming up, so we're going to try to plan a few auctions, maybe short-lived, maybe just smaller items, something like that. We're going to do it, and that way we can, if it's smaller items, we can get them. Guys, I want to tell y'all something. John Ford, his order was a big order, and it wasn't small items. He bought the two the older man and woman sitting in the bench. Then he bought the little porcelain baby doll, big porcelain baby doll. It was 4 packages. It took me 3 hours to package his stuff. When he gets that old man and woman, I didn't have no bubble wrap. So I got some of my diapers off the shelf back there, and I wrapped the heads in diapers and pulled tape around them, wrapped the arms in diapers. They look like they're mummified or been kidnapped or something. So he's going to get a kick out of that when he does get all those packages. Then I had the bench I had to put in there, and I think it wound up being 4 or 5 packages. Like I said, if it had been smaller items, I can get them like that. But sometimes some items are just really hard to ship. They are. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. God bless you. Love you. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, guys. Talk